You know, having devotions in the morning has changed my life. I've never used electric chainsaw sharpener, and I was at our local store a few days ago, and I saw this one. It was on sale, so I thought, hey, for that price, I can go ahead and pick the thing up and give it a try. I've got 3 chainsaws out here that I personally own, that I try to keep sharp, because we're getting ready to do a whole lot more sawing. I have a lot of trees down. I need to get cut up in firewood and then just some logs. So I thought, well, maybe there's an easier way than following the old traditional way like I started out many, many years ago. So I'm going to try this, and if it works out, great. If not, just a lesson well learned. So. We got an owner's manual. Now, if Wifey was out here, she would tell me the first thing I need to do is read the owner's manual, which is not a bad idea. But anyway, I'll take a look at it. Yep. Yep. Yep again. And Okay. We're on the last page. And I can tell Wifey that I looked at the owner's manual, and I can prove it. I've got it on video. So, no, seriously, this should be pretty easy to hook up. By the way, like I say, I've never used one of these. I may like it, and I may not like it, so we'll see. Okay. Got to figure out the best place to mount it on this bench. And it will be just a temporary mount. And the reason I say that is because I will be taking it on and off as I go. So let's see here. I'm in the right location. I think that might be about where I wanted it at. So, okay, I'll go get some mounting screws and get that mounted, and we'll give this thing here a try. So, hello again. As I'd mentioned, I have 3 saws that I maintain out here on the land, and so I want to just give you a brief overview of the 3 saws that I have. This saw here is a 40-volt battery powered saw. Technically, it's not mine. If you'll notice on it, I think it says she saw. That belongs to Wifey. So anyway, this is a nice little saw by Atcha Force, I believe. Anyway, it has a 14-inch bar, and along with a 14-inch chain. The bar is made by Oregon, so it's pretty easy to get replacement parts for. I was really surprised about how much this little saw here can do. We've done quite a bit of trimming. We've cut some firewood with it, so it's a pretty powerful little saw. I've been really pleased with it. But anyway, this is the very first chain that was on this saw here, so we're going to attempt to sharpen that a little bit later. This saw here, I've had a few years. This is kind of the one that's, as you can see, is kind of in the middle. This is a MS 251 made by Steel. It's actually a 251C. I believe the C stands for compression release, and that's helpful when you're cranking it. It makes it a little bit easier to crank sometimes. And why I chose this one, the 251C, a few years back, I had a shoulder that was giving me some trouble, so I thought, well, let me try that. And so anyway, this was has worked out very, very well, but it only has, I believe that's a 16-inch bar. I'm sorry, it's an 18-inch bar here. And I needed one just a little bit longer and that had a little bit more horsepower for some of the big oaks that we're processing out here on the land. So because of that, I went ahead and I upgraded to the MS 291. Again, this is made by Steel also. It has a 2-inch longer bar, has a 20-inch bar, has a little bit more horsepower. So this saw will get her done out here on the land. It should handle pretty much any of the trees that we have out here. Steel offers a wide range of saws depending on what your needs are. So this saw here is just right before you get to the professional level. Professional level is going to be someone like a logger that uses the saw day in and day out, 5 and 6 days a week. That's not us out here on the land. So this saw here gives us the horsepower that we need. It gives us the chain length that we need. So anyway, this is the very first chain on this saw here. So currently this chain here is still sharp. So we'll have to get test the sharpener out on it a little bit later. But again, this saw here, I've gone through several chains, and so we're gonna sharpen one that I've taken off, and I'd hit some nails with it on one of the trees that had an old fence up on it. So, and sometimes you inadvertently get into some rock. So anyway, the chain that I'm going to be sharpening, I'll be using that old chain as kind of a learning curve and see how that goes. And once this is all said and done, we're going to go down and we're going to fire all 3 of these up after they've been sharpened. And you'll see a kind of side-by-side comparison, kind of see how they work out. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, if you remember when I was unboxing this sharpener here, I'd mentioned I was going to either mount it here or over in this area here, and I chose to actually manufacture me something so I can just, if I choose to, once I get done with it, I can just remove it, or I can put it right back on, and it just makes it easier to put in storage when I'm not needing it. But I've got these a little bit long here, so I want to cut this off here and cut this one off this side, and we'll see how it works out. So I think I want to use the little sheath saw, and we'll get this part here cut off. As you can see, for a small task like this little saw here really excels and does just a very, very good job. So we're going to start by sharpening an older chain that I have for my MS251C. And here's the box here. I want to flip it on the back, so we'll kind of zoom in here. This tells me I should be sharpening this chain at a 30-degree angle. So now if I look down here at this sharpener, you notice you have different settings here. There's a wheel underneath I can loosen, and we just kind of demonstrate that. I'm going to loosen this, and then I can turn this, and you'll notice here at the top, these numbers here. So I want to set this on 30 degrees, or right there. We're going to tighten that up. Okay. And also this sharpener has what they call a depth gauge. So when I pull it down here, it prevents this sharpening wheel going down too far and digging into the chain. It also has this brake here, they call it. You'll notice when I press this brake, it kind of squeezes right here. And what this is doing is allowing the clamp on the chain so the chain don't move around while I'm sharpening that. So that's what this is all about. So what we're going to do now, let me put my gloves on here since I'm going to be handling the sharper chain here. We'll take this old chain out. Well, we almost got it. Sometimes they get cantankerous there. Come back down there. Okay, we'll just lay this chain right down in here in this slide. You notice it'll just take and turn then. And so let's see here. If I were to pull down, this is the stop where I want right there. I'm going to push down here. Notice when I do that, it kind of locks that tooth there in place. So that's kind of would be what I want. But what I need to do now is get this coming back a little bit. Do a little bit of adjusting here. I may end up needing to take and cut me a piece out of this brace here so the chain doesn't catch on that.
Catch on that.
We'll see.